Okay, my plan is to make a series of videos that help you learn how to use your fingers, called finger flexing. And the reason it's important, a lot of reasons, but one in particular, you'll be able to play legato from one string to another by letting your fingers work, not just the arm or the wrist. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few exercises to start with, and I also want to show you this book by Martha Gershevsky. If you go to marthacello.com, you can get this from her for about 10 or 12 bucks. It's called A Strong and Flexible Bow for the Cello. It's a really good book. And she gives you lots of interesting finger flexing exercises and also then exercises for articulations. Starting out, you want to make your good bow hold. Make sure you've got an elbow that's not like that. Okay, my elbow looks a little bit high when I'm sitting down. So basically, you're curling your fingers up like that. That's flexing them. And you can then drop them to be really extreme. So this would be neutral, curled up, neutral, and long. I call that long fingers, okay? So let's see if you can just do that by holding. You can hold the tip of the bow. So neutral, curled up, neutral, drop. Okay, if your thumb slips, which it probably will a lot, you just have to remake your bow hold and keep trying. I really like to do it vertically by holding my hand here to keep that everything still except for the fingers and the thumb. Okay, so finger flexing really also means thumb flexing too. The thumb is bending a great deal, and the fingers kind of feel like you're squeezing in, and then you're relaxing back to neutral, and then when you make them long, it's almost like your fingers are straight. But so it's a real kind of squeezing out, coming in, going out. I hate to use that word squeeze, but it's a very gentle squeeze. So that's a good thing to do. It's also, next level difficulty would be to try to do some circles. Okay? Keep the hairs straight. Don't let the hairs do that. Keep them parallel to a wall here as you make a circle in this plane. And in opposite direction. Woo, that's pretty tricky. Go slowly. Keep fixing the placement of your both thumb and fingers. Okay, and then the most difficult would be to do a figure 8. Just with your fingers, and then the opposite way. I notice my mouth wants to do it too. Okay, so those are some exercises without the cello. With the cello, and without even making a sound yet. Okay, I'm a little bit out of the camera here, so see if you can put your bow on the G string and curl your fingers up, give that little curly squeeze, and touch the D string. Okay, this feels pretty uncomfortable because normally we want to go up with our arm too. And that's one way to cross strings, by just using your whole arm like that, right? Okay, so another way would be just to use your wrist, but then you can see the tilt of the bow is changing, and it's not right. It just you want to keep the angle of the bow, the tilt of the angle of the hairs in relation to the bow stick. You want to keep that constant, and you can't do that if you just use your wrist. So if you squeeze up your fingers and then you let the arm come to, then you can keep the bow hairs tilted nicely, and so it's hard to do very slowly, but it's actually good to practice. And I think this is what Martha Gershevsky also makes you do in her exercises, just doing it very awkwardly. So you'd never play the cello like that, right? You'd never go and then just like that, right? Because it's very uncomfortable for the arm. It also doesn't sound very brilliant. And we're trying to get a legato. So this is what the legato would sound like. I'll do it on the slur. Okay? If I don't use my fingers, then this is what it would sound like. It's hard to get a very beautiful legato from one string to the other. By using my fingers, I can approach the string more gradually. Okay, so that's a little introduction. Practice those finger flexing exercises. Another good one is to do it upside down. Hold your wrist here, and that the bow feels really heavy like that, so it's a little bit more of a workout. Okay.